just champions usually into Yone because you don't end up with a lot of threat to kill on the Yone because you've got such a high health bar and you can tend to clear the wave. So I wasn't sure if it was going to be Rise, but it's going to be Aurora instead. So Caps happy to just wave clear. A lot of poke in lane as well to try and push this Yone out early and then super
wrap up the LEC. And
there's also molecules in our Slack channel saying, you know, Skubon is the best jungler in the world. You can just only see it when he's outside Berlin. Oh,
no flashes. They're in trouble. Flash will probably ignite first blood with a Galetta land. John's going to flash well with a boomerang blade, and an auto Hans gets the second. Noah Arcane shifted forward.
Out of here. Does have Pantheon on that bottom side though.
Meanwhile, there we go. There's the dive. Comes after the dragon. Anyway, Aqua Prism was too early. Now Noah's exposed. Arcane shifts out of the way. Skubon waiting for the Q. Doesn't need it. The order from Hans Summer gets the job done. Meanwhile, Caps running from his life from a deadly Scorpion.
G2 looking absolutely spectacular in this early game. We've seen GiantX try and rotate to the top side to get these Void Grubs. A Broken Blade just going to clear out the wave to make sure he can't be played with afterwards.
This will be a quick wave clear as well. He
proxying the wave, and Lot didn't realize the Hans Hammer was there because the ward didn't spot him, and now Jackie's, oh my.
Twofold Hex, Caps is waiting, he's going to pop them between worlds. Jackie's ulti's out, gets out, Caps under turret, twofold Hex, and the order the pullback. He's clean.
This is what we were talking about in Champ Select, right? The answers into Sivir aren't quite there. And G2 in a fantastic spot. Caps now, a little bit of attention mid.
Yeah, he's just run into this. He goes between the Veil, gets hit by the Scorpion, waiting for the Impale. Skubon flies on in. Tidal Wave, Impale misses, by the way. Skubon's already taken the first victim. Wildgrowth gets the knockup. Now Jun's exposed.
This is, so again, what we said about GiantX was, they have a really good one-item spike.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be their moment to kind of shine.
Let's get there.
The problem is everyone at G2
do all game. Yeah. He's constantly been invading topside because it's only part of the map that they can get control.
Yeah, and then, look, sure, but it's not really going to net you anything, right? Skewmon spotting now. Jun here as well. May actually just be a solo kill.
Actually, maybe is there a solo kill? Call the Forge God onto Lud. He flashes away. He's up against the wall. He now overheats with Flame Spitter out and active. Ignite down as well as he thinks about going in. But meanwhile, Skewmon found Jun. What is that flying?
It's gone. And already GiantX, when we said, look, they want to try and play for a 1-3-1, have lost control completely of the map. You've got Rift Herald that's up in 30 seconds.
Potential as this was looking for the play. They're going to chase Caps but lose Herald.
I think they're going to chase Lot and he's going to die.
Oh, Dagner's calling it, and I see it call the Forge God. Max range, engage. Lot there, uses flash before it. Won't hit, so that's nice. Searing charge won't connect either, but a polymorph from LeBron. Nicely done. Bellows Breath clips him, Hunt someone with another. 4 of G2 commit to top, and they, 2 being in this form, is now monstrous.
Yeah, and I think that's always kind of been part of the conversation around, you know, the top teams in the league versus what appears to always be.
Impale connect, no. Smite was not enough either, as I think right now I'd be taking notes of G2 as Hans Summer continues to work on the bottom lane turret. There it goes on the next wave, 7.5k gold.
Yeah, and 4k of that is on Hans Summer.
Yes, it is.
He's going to be very, very happy. Will be a tower back in the top lane, at least for GiantX.
I'll clap for that.
So, yeah, you got to clap sometimes at these things, but G2, yeah, third dragon, third dragon. They reset, you pick up a third item for Hans Sama. Like, this is crazy. This is terrifying.
I was crazy once. I don't remember it looking like this, Dagner.
Crazy clean? Is that how it goes? Again, this is what I was saying. With all these towers falling so quickly, it's impossible for GiantX to keep up.
Bishop Barrage tries to help the wave, but yeah, it's gone. And Baron's up in 10 seconds, and I think GiantX might just go, well, they're probably, well, G2 rather, might start this on spawn.
Yeah. I think if I'm GiantX, it's, look, we don't have a chance, right? Maybe they want a Hail Mary as they start to group up.
Why not? Send it. If you don't send it now, the game is even more done. Isma going to come in, but call the Forge God means it was a bait. Isma gets sent in the air between Caps. Oh my God, his ulti. It's a world of difference for G2's mid lane. He already sets it up as Isma's now exposed, left isolated. He gets impaled down finally for the first time in this game, but a wall will meet his end. Meanwhile, Hans Summer just has to right click. A wild growth save. Inhibitor turret instead. Pillar set up by Broken Blade as Bjorn tanking up with 1.5 items. There's no real damage threat right now from GiantX unless they land everything. But as Demolish has taken the bot lane turret, as Caps disappears, they send it. Fate Seal finally, wild growth on Hans Summer. At half HP, he gets flashed on, he's burning, about to die, but here comes Skewmon, as Hans will survive at 1 HP. GiantX defend, and they finally got to send their ultis. Surprisingly enough, G2 got sent back.
G2 do get sent away. It was a good engage from Jackie's that ended up closing the distance on towards Hans Summer.
On a ward between worlds. John is not going to be in this one for very much longer. Caps will take it. GiantX now 5 members on the bottom side of the map, and Hans Summer's going to push it off.
Soul taken. G2 just setting up the rest of the map in their favor. Yeah, G2, they're playing a little bit rough. Maybe, just maybe, something might go wrong. And then they get to the end of the split and they just look like this. And you're like, they're like the dog that faked a limp and then just started running whenever it wanted.
And shout out to Hopium, you know, I was on that earlier in the week and we're talking with Memento and he was literally saying like, you know, we come back from internationals, have like a 6-day break, and then we're thrown into the split. And it's called the Forge God comes through. It seems like this time around they've finally gotten their foot together. Impale does connect on the Skewmon. Caps goes between worlds. Jackie's face still gets flushed away from it, but the wild grows. Hansummer gets a knock-up thanks to Lebrov. And even though G2 get tested a little bit for a 10,000 gold lead, Inhibitor still goes down, and all the same, the game is slowly ending. Baron number 2. GiantX are going to run and send the Hail Mary once again. True Shot Barrage helps out with the leash. Caps goes in between the Veil, wants to send it across the Veil and between the worlds. Is going to get knocked up. The tidal wave stops to call the Forge God. He gets knocked up, but Baron's still gone. A pillar out of series. I mean, he's got point, you're right, he's got ammunition, but I feel like the whole split, Hansummer has had an incredible performance when G2 have just been warming up. We'll quote on more of that later, and he can have his response on the AD after this. As Isman looking for the engaged flash Impale. It's onto a Bellows press into the air. The Scorpion won't come down. Hansummer will take a free kill as he flashes away from some kind of engage. Mystic shot after Mystic shot. It's Noah's trying to find the play. Arcane shift away. Here comes Call the Forge God as well. Tidal wave flashes over. Broken Blade misses though. Caps. He will not. His between world finds another victim. And G2 finally putting the finishing touches on this game as the Nexus turrets are coming up next.
Valiant effort from GiantX. But it's an effort that's not too much. Jackie's wants one kill, but cannot find it as G2. It's not quite the perfect game, but it's damn near close.
It is kill-less for GX. Equalizer down. Jun about to hit the ground, and G2 safe and sound. Next Nexus turret drops down. The Nexus is bare 15-0. On Spanish ground, GiantX obliterated by the best the region's ever seen.
Holy.
They've got strong solo lanes in the lane itself, and now you've got an opportunity here for Lot to try and win out the 1v1, but you're not picking Renekton into the Gnar. Oh my lord, so you're deciding that I am not going to be good in the lane. I'm going to play this.
It's a nice job. Kind of GiantX at least getting some fighting spirit back after what was a disastrous game 1. And this is exactly what you want. If you can start to burn some of these key summoner spells and ultimates off of Hansummer, he then looks very much less threatening for the likes of a dragon fight. But with GiantX investing Isma towards that Void Grubs, instead it will be G2 who are able to pick up the first dragon in response.
So Skewmon takes this. G2 getting push on bot. I mean, it all comes together. First dragon of the game again. Nice little stepping stone for our League of Legends games here in Europe. Hansummer gets to step up and get a plate as well. So still quite nice as, I don't know what's happening in top lane, but shout out to Lot, to his credit. I didn't discredit him, though. I didn't need to, Dagda. I'm just saying it's a good push out here. Cap's going to be flagged and dragged. Good knock up here. Chain as well. Going to double root him in. Distortion for good damage, but Caps has got a Spectre's cow, so Jackies ain't doing that much anymore.
Yeah, he kind of started to fall off as LeBlanc into this matchup at this stage. And it's just kind of ignore the damage, but there's the engage.
Wukong set up. Pop Blossom's going to follow up as well and finds a one-man, but Skewmon is going to spin a second time. Isma turns into Cataclysm, but he can't get out. Magical journey now from Lebrov. He's followed. 1,500 gold with 12 minutes in the game. It's not as explosive as game 1, I feel, but as we go back to top lane, the all-in, he's gone into the dominance, but this is what I'm talking about. Broken Blade might not have the first item, but Caps is on the way. He's going to bring one hell of a hero's entrance in. That was a weird Justice punch, but still the Shield of Duran with the Winds of War will take down Lot.
Nicely done by Caps on the roam. The ultimate to keep him in check, and Lot had the flash, didn't want to invest to try and get away, maybe more focused on
I guess that's what Caps wanted to punch. He was like, hey, he's going to flash here. Didn't end up doing so. Lebrov running for his life here. The feathers are out yet again. Jackie's going to make a roam. LeBlanc on the way in. Good route with the pullback, and Jun gets the kill. You don't want that from GiantX, but Barrier saves his life, but Jackie's done exactly what you need to secure Drake.
GiantX reading the map well. They push him bot, they push him mid, they knew the Caps in it. Jackie's cancel his reset to just get the tower in the trade-off. So nicely done by GiantX. It looks a little wonky, but they do get that tower.
The turret is big. Jackie's already running off, you know, again, their solo lanes. Their solo lanes are doing pretty good in this game, and Dragon's up in a minute 30 with them already having won. It feels like a good game state as Noah versus Hansama is going to begin.
Skummon's here,
Kraken
though.
comes out. The Unleashed Feathers won't find the target. It's Skumon again. Double Cyclone is a root from LeBron, and the bonk on the head. Interrupt on Isma flagging in as 80 carries will both drop down. Nice of Jackie's to get the trade. But this game, I'm really tunneling on Skumon with the angles he's finding.
I mean, it was nice by Skumon to cover, but a great read from GiantX in the play. GiantX basically looked at the map and said, okay, there is still a semi-global for Caps. What G2 are going to do is push boss, shift Caps mid, shift everyone else in G2 to take that top tower. We need to make a play on mid before that can happen. And they tried to do so by moving Jackie's, but Skumon was there to cover, but hang on.
Fate finds the Brov, catches Isma as well, but they're trapped together. Out with the smooch ulti from Isma, a Cataclysm down, Lebrov trying to escape. He's going to fake it, Isma goes for the left. Oh, he's going to flag and drag eventually, but he doesn't have the ulti. Lebrov tangles him down, and with the proto belt, he won't escape. He dies to the turret in the end.
If can stall, they can get Nico back on the map.
Isma looking for an angle again. No Cataclysm. Skumon found out. Gets a Cosmic Binding down. Nice from Jun. Tifa going to be burned as well. Skumon has no ulti himself. He has his flash. Cap's going to save the day. Hansama almost dies to Jackie's trying to carry the game. Forward goes Caps. Meanwhile, Hansama flashes over the wall. Noah dies though. Broken Blade went into Mega Nah and said Mega Nah. Broken Blade sending his Q out again. He's got to flash away this time with Herald out. Cap's getting the charm onto Jackie's. Where's the distortion backwards? Lot meanwhile into Dominus wants to fight again with the Pop Blossom on the edge. Almost finding a new target. GiantX get out by the skin of their teeth while Herald hasn't got the charge yet. There's a mineral wave, or rather minion wave in the way. LeBron tries to set it up, and yes, indeed, the turret will die. G2 find an advantage out of the play, but boy, is it close here with GiantX picking those angles quite nicely.
I'm shocked that G2 managed to make that work.
Me too.
Especially because Jackie's eliminated Hansama from the equation from the get-go. So both Lebrov and Hansama not at the start of that
Galio
fight.
with Hollow Radiance and a bit of health now coming from what you assume is a Rift Maker. It's not bad. Jun found out as well. Magical Journey going to be taken. Double Cyclone and an easy kill gifted to Hansama. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, there's a Renekton versus an Nara, and this time we're getting the real thick of what it should have been. LeBron looking for the dive. Pop Blossom. Lot's going to get help, but will it be in time? You know the answer is no. Chloe mitigates. Jackie's is coming to help. Hansama's moving into Fog of War himself. Broken Blade would survive a little bit longer than maybe you all expect at home. Going to go Mega Nah. Lot gets a stride break, gets stun up, then a wall now there. He gets a Q down. Walls Lot against it. Jackie's misses the chain, and the rest of G2 are on the way. Caps teleported to the last minion there. Justice Punch wins of war, and a Pop Blossom. LeBron sends him down under. And G2 are absolutely whomping the game now.
Caps saw LeBlanc for maybe half a second on that ward, and the TP was already coming. G2 once again covering bot lane, the ability to look for these big engages. And now GiantX have to try and face check into this with G2 once again putting pressure on multiple flanks.
But look at Broken Blade. I mean, he's about to go into the Mega Nah. Lot's going to run up into him, but here comes the Mega. Tempered Fate on the Dragon to buy some time. Lot gets stunned up, gets a house thrown at him, but Magical Journey out. GiantX are like, no, we can't fight, but they've already committed Lot in here. At least one is going to die, and I think it's a Renekton. Flash forward, LeBron finds 3. The feathers will go out, but it's a storm of no feathers. Nothing to be used. A Cyclone again. Skumon found the backline and onto Jackie's. A W used by Hansama. A triple kill with no ulti to follow up for the potential penta or even quadra, but here comes Caps again. Shielded around close to getting Jun, but GiantX are left with 2, and G2 are just the gods of fighting in this series.
They look absolutely insane. The combination working out incredibly well for them. G2 set them up, Hansama knocks them down, and it'll be bot lane tower and Baron that fall with this.
I'm also being told as his turret goes down that in the history of the LEC, in a series that is a best of 3, the fewest kills we've ever had is Origin at 4. GiantX, this is the only kills they've had in the series. If they do not get another kill, they will make history here. Not in a good way. Once again, crest towards the 10,000 gold mark in under 30 minutes.
There's no wards in sight for Jackie's to try and find some sneaky plays. G2 doing their due diligence with the amount of pink wards that they've set up mid, back of red buff, and also by Krugs. The Broken Blade going to take this mid lane turret as the presence for G2 shifts towards this top side to look for the inhibitor.
Isma moved down, G2 moved up in top. Turret damage done on the inhibitor turret. Jackie's going to stand in. Well, Shield of Duran doesn't find a target, but Jackies just gets tagged out, and the Cappy and Rain from Han Summer, and the 3.5 item Kaza is enough. Blooming Burst again, Jun gets tagged out, and with this Baron, it's doing its work on its own. The cannon minion hard to step up to, even Noah gets a Winds of War to the face. Well, meanwhile, we look towards mid. Broken Blade about to go into the Meganar. Jackie's looking for the stun. He gets stunned up instead. Meganar against the wall, brings in Caps. Broken Blade flushes out, and here he is! He sets up the Shield Duran. Hunsummer flies through with the Seeker's Arm Guard. And for G2, they're going to give away the kill, which means GX will be safe from setting a record. And at least slowing down the Baron with a 1-for-1 is a win, but the base is still in tatters.
They will be tied on that record, but G2 never letting up. They want to take more.
It's Broken Blade, it's Caps. Han Summer would make it an easy finish. They could find a fight, but 29 minutes in, they're still going to try. However, with the teleport in, it is simply just for the inhibitor for now, but Broken Blade is going to go into Meganar. They want to end the series right here, right now. In under an hour, it seems, or at least close to. Broken Blade comes back in with a Meganar, and Lot gets shoved in, but no stun up with the W either from Broken Blade. Caps jumps in with the Justice Punch, Shield of Duran. Pop Blossom only a one-man. Looking for the Tangle Bars, Brittle Rob gets knocked up instead, and he's dead. Okay.
TP behind, TP behind.
They're going to look for even more, get away from the Origin record and get into holding onto this game. The hop over the wall, or rather over Lot's face. Kiting it out as Broken Blade, and Lot is in danger if he falls.
Is he the best AD carry in the league right now? Which, for Noah, was insane to say. But unfortunately for them, they haven't quite found that success.
Onto this series, onto their day 2 in Madrid. Lock in top 4, it's as simple as that. GiantX will be in single elimination. Their backs are against the wall. LeBron looking again for the Tangle Barbs. He finds a Pop Blossom instead, then presses the E, gets the GA out. LeBron's tanking up, he will die. As Tempered Fate buys a little bit more time, Ezra comes back alive and Broken Blade about to go into the Meganar. Looking for a hopping angle. Jackie's backs away though and will not give it to him. So despite LeBron dying in a 4 versus 5, G2 still say, let's end the series now. Shield Duran doesn't work, the flag and drag in, but it's a bait. Cyclone in the back, Skewmon enables Caps to jump on in. Broken Blade gets a 2-man, and against the wall, GiantX get rammed. Skewmon sends out the twirly whirly once more, and Jackie does his best, but with a Nexus exposed, with GiantX left with more numbers, it won't matter. Han Summer goes gold with the Nexus still falling down, and G2 will lock in the top 4, and Europe shrieks as once again we realize G2 might be our best.